Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We are being broadcast live over Van Buren Township Television 12, and we are also on YouTube, which is where my wife is watching us from, probably. So, okay. Treasurer Bud, would you please call the roll?
I will. Trustee Boynton.
Here.
Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Martin. Here. Trustee Frazier. Here. Treasurer Bud is here. Clerk Wright is excused. Supervisor McNamara.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you very much. A quick summary, executive summary. We have a consent agenda, which basically pays our bills. It'll also be the reapproval of a township investment policy that we've had for years. Safeguards the money in very safe investments. We'll also have a approval of a small price increase for the publication of the Belleville Independent, which is our paper of record. There will also be a presentation today regarding the Van Buren Township Police Department's accreditation. And we'll have new business, which will include discussion of selection of ThinkGuard, cloud-based disaster recovery. We're basically getting into the cloud-based backup systems for our IT systems. And we're doing, and then there's going to be a thing for Graphic House, which is going to provide gateway signage, and it's also going to provide park signage and another one. And finally, we're going to talk about the Belleville Area Museum, a landscaping and irrigation project at a little over $100,000. So, moving on, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Frazier and Boynton?
We adopt the agenda as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Frazier, supported by Trustee Boynton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is the adoption of the consent agenda. Trustee Miller?
Yes. Adoption of the consent agenda will be as follows. Number one, board meeting minutes of April 5th, 2022. Work study meeting minutes of April 5th, 2022. 3, prepaid list of April 7th, 2022. 4, prepaid list of April 14th, 2022. 5, voucher list of April 19th, 2022. 6, reapproval of the township investment policy and authorized investment institutions. 7, approval of the price increase from $5 per column inch to $7 per column inch for the publications in the Belleville Independent.
Support.
Treasurer Bud. I have a motion by Trustee Miller, supported by Treasurer Bud. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is a public hearing. We have no public hearing scheduled today. Next item would be correspondence, announcements, and presentations. Trustee Martin.
Good evening. The 34th District Court and Chief Judge Brian A. Oakley, Judge Tina Brooks Green, and Judge Lisa M. Martin present Community Day at the Court. This would be a fun-filled day of food trucks, public safety demonstrations, tours of the brand-new court building, and other events, other activities will be taking place. This happens on Friday, May 6th, from 12 noon to 5 p.m. The court's addressed as 11129 Wayne Road in Romulus, Michigan. As you may know or may not know, the court serves the communities of Belleville, Huron Township, Romulus, Sumter Township, and Van Buren Township. So this would be, put this on your calendars for Friday, May 6th, Community Day at the Court.
Give the time again, Kevin.
12 noon to 5 p.m.
And the board wants to make note that our Judge Martin is also in the stands with us today. Thank you. I also, I have a few, does anybody else have a message? I have a few, and just want to make sure I don't run over anybody else, okay? All right, Tri-Community, the Tri-Community, this is going up to the Tri-Community, but join us, June 1st, we're going to have a museum Visioning Workshop for the Belleville Area Museum on Wednesday, June 1st, from 5 to 7 at the Belleville Area District Library. By providing your recommendations and insight at the event, you can help create the best possible experience at the museum. Additionally, there will be an online survey we are putting out, launching this May. Community input is invaluable as Van Buren Township, the city of Belleville, and Sumter Township are trying to create new possibilities for the museum. I like the way, I think it was Mayor Conley put it. She said, how'd she put that? Envisioning, visioning a new future while respecting our history. Something like that was very nice. Visit our website this May, and please take the survey. This survey is so important. The Senior Center is closing, well, it's closed, April 15th. The September Day Senior Center will be closed beginning April 15th. Classes will be resumed in June at the Hagerty School. In the meantime, several exercise classes will be held at Quirk Park beginning Monday, April 18th. That includes Zumba, cardio, Tai Chi, arthritis movement, and things like that. So we do still have some programming, but it's outdoors. Hagerty Subs, sidewalk placement program condition assessment has begun. Your sidewalks are being assessed. There are little dots on them. If you have any questions, give us a call. We are going to go to a public hearing before we do anything with that. We will call everybody from the community in, especially Hagerty Sub, and we will talk about it, and any specific details can be added, can be done either that way or in the future. The board has not yet completely voted on this, but it's, we're letting you know by putting the marks on the sidewalks before these meetings, so you know who is going to have to replace their sidewalks. That was a two-pager that I shortened up. And lastly, I want to remind everybody that there's a road closure on Hagerty Road. Wayne County Road Commission has informed us that southbound Hagerty Road from Tyler to I-94, southbound Hagerty Road from Tyler to I-94 is closed due to construction for the summer. And that's about it, except for the fact that we have not officially been notified that we are going to be getting Hagerty Road yet done from Ecorse to Van Born, but I've been told by the chief of staff, congratulations on the road, and I was just in an Aerotropolis meeting, and the first thing Chris Girdwood from Aerotropolis said, congratulations on getting Hagerty Road. So I assume we've gotten Hagerty Road. Sooner or later, hopefully we'll get something more permanent.
Supervisor, if I
Yes.
may ask you again, what was the time, June 1st, for the vision for the museum?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, thank you.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to be moving, does anybody else, just in case I missed? Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Just one more announcement. I-275 northbound from I-94 to M14 will be closed Friday, I think from 7 p.m. until Monday, 5 a.m. They're going to try to fix the potholes and cracks and stuff on that portion of the road.
Thank you. That's a good one. Okay, anybody else? Nope. All right, we're going to move now to our police department accreditation video. This video was performed by our communication specialist, Mike Japowitz. And Mike, would you like to say a few words before we start? We also have members of our police department here, which, are you going to call them up or am I? You go ahead and speak and then I'll call them up.
Okay, sounds good. Good evening, board members. I'm very glad to be able to present this video tonight. Being able to document and illustrate this accomplishment of the Van Buren Township Police Department and the journey that they went through to achieve it has been enlightening and enjoyable. I was not only able to see the level of care and dedication that they take throughout the community, but I was very pleased by how accommodating and easy it was to work with Chief Wright, Sergeant Keel, Officer Byrd, and former Director Lorraine. This will be the first screening of this video, and afterwards it'll be broadcast on our social media.
Sergeant Keel, Lieutenant Boz, you guys want to step up? I almost don't recognize them with. Yeah. We were about to play the video. If you want to wait there, and then we'd love to have a few words from each of you. Okay? Go ahead, Mike.
Accreditation is actually a certification earned by law enforcement agencies across the state for using the best practices in our industry. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police designed this program for agencies to meet the standards of procedures that reflect the best in our industry. To become accredited in the state of Michigan, your agency goes through a self-assessment. Then it is assessed by the accreditation assessors on site, and finally a decision is made by the Accreditation Commission to determine if you have met their standards. Our agency had to comply with over 105 standards and complete over 400 tasks in order to earn and maintain accreditation status.
In that process, we had to go through each and every one of our policies, all of our procedures, and modify some to make them fit, change some to meet the required standard language, and then put each one into a process. It's a matter of change. It's a matter of looking on the inside and seeing what do we need to do, where do we need to go, and getting everybody on board with that. Our officers did a great job of being flexible and understanding where we wanted to go and making the modifications necessary to achieve the assessment.
After going through the entire process of going through all your policy, proving that you're adhering to these policies and getting an assessment panel to come to our police department was a very daunting, very challenging process, but it's well worth it at the end.
First department up is the Van Buren Township Police Department.
We attended a hearing in front of the MACP Commission. This was basically making it to the final stage. And we sat across commissioners that are part of the MACP, and they fired some questions off at us. They read our final report from the mock assessors that had come to our department a few weeks earlier to review everything.
Okay, Director Lorraine, very good report. House seems to be very much squared away. I just have a couple questions for you.
So looking at that work, it paid off. When you heard that commissioner say right away, we see your house is in order, we see you had a great report, it was very meaningful and it meant a lot.
I would like to then offer a motion that we present the Van Buren Township Police Department to the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission for full accredited status. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carried.
And at the end, the commissioners made a motion and voted that we be accredited, that we had met everything that they asked of us.
It felt surreal to shake hands with the panel at the very end, to know you're walking out as an accredited organization. And it's one of the top 10% organizations in the state of Michigan.
We are very excited here to call Director Lorraine to begin our presentation for the accreditation of our police department. Director Lorraine.
I'm very proud to stand before you this evening to acknowledge and celebrate our police department's most recent accomplishment and receive recognition from the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission. Our police department has been working hard towards state accreditation now for over 3 years, and we are very glad to be here tonight to be recognized for such a great accomplishment for our department and community.
Your department has voluntarily done this. Nobody made them do this. They stepped up. They were leaders. There are some 600 police departments in the state, and of those municipal agencies, yours is only the 42nd in the state of Michigan to achieve that. So you've done what 90% of the other police departments have not been able to do.
Accreditation is a significant professional accomplishment. It will make this department better, make your community safer. As mentioned, they are leaders in this process. This isn't done overnight. It is a process, and I can tell you firsthand the amount of time, commitment, and effort that it takes to achieve this. So with that, Director, to all who see the certificate, know that the Van Buren Township Police Department, having voluntarily complied with the standards established by the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, deemed essential for the delivery of professional police services and protection of their community, is hereby awarded the certificate of accreditation, good for a term of 3 years. Congratulations. Thank you. Well,
This was a monumental task that you took on, and you succeeded, and the real winners here are the residents of Van Buren Township, and they can know that we policing.
What it says for the community is that our police department is even a greater asset to all of you and all that you serve.
It's a great thing for the department, it's a great thing for the community, and I would just like to thank them for doing this for the township.
I'm so proud of what you've done for the township and what you've done for this department. Thank you so much.
What you all went through. It is truly another feather in the hat of what we call ourselves, which we are proving to be, which is a premier community.
I'm just overwhelmed that you guys did this. It's incredible. And I know that you already ordered stickers to put on the cars.
We're not just taking this award, putting it on the wall, and then everything that we went through, just putting in the drawer and not doing again. As soon as we are done, we will be right back at it like we started all over again.
We've proven to the assessors that our policies and our standards, our actions are correct and accurate for the time period which they assessed. We must continue that on an annual basis, and we will be reassessed every 3 years.
As laws change, as the accreditation process change, as standards change, as best practices change, we have to be in compliance with those best practices. So it's a never-ending process. It's well worth it because it's making sure that we are always following what best practices are within law enforcement.
We are committed to providing the highest quality of service to our citizens, and this accreditation status validates that we are abiding by the standards year after year.
Excellent.
Loved it.
Mr. Japwitz. Start with Lieutenant, or I don't know, we go, do you have anything you'd like to say? Because we'd like to just say thank you again. We're very proud of you. I know you're proud of yourselves because this was a pretty big deal.
First of all, I'd like to give a lot of credit where the credit's due, and that's to Sergeant Keel, Officer Byrd, Retired Director Lorraine, Chief Wright for spearheading this and taking our department to the next level. The people of Van Buren Township should be proud of the department for where we've gone, where we've come from. They can be assured that we are abiding by what we need to do to make this community a great place.
Yeah, it has come a long way. I mean, if you look at, Greg Lorraine, our Director Lorraine, he came in as what, part-time guy that was, and where we had like what, one guy working here, two or something like that. And now we have a large police force that's one of the top 10% in Michigan and accredited. Sergeant Keel.
Sir, thank you. What a wonderful video, Mike. Excellent job. Very proud of the video, very proud of our work, obviously. Mike did a great job. It's great to work with him. It really showcases and highlights our department, gives us something to go forward with. We're very proud of that. Accreditation's already begun. We started March 1st. That's why Adam's late. I wore him out earlier. He's been working hard, going through policies and proofs already. So things are moving along. Thanks for all the support.
Great. Officer Byrd.
I just want to say thank you as well to the board, and thank you to Mike. You did one heck of a job on the video. I think it highlights what the community wants, not just in the millage year, but throughout every year that we serve this community. And that's to work as a team, come together, and make our organization better. And everybody played a role, from the director all the way down to the police officer, everybody. Thank you, board, for allowing us to get this accreditation. I apologize I was late. I just came from training, and it felt good when they asked how many departments are accredited, and we were only one of two departments in the entire training to have this accreditation. So thank you.
All right, great. Okay, does anybody want to make a comment? I mean, I know it's wonderful what was done, so.
I just want to ask you, how fast can we get this on our township website? This video.
I don't know. Okay.
We need to showcase this.
Yes. So proud of everything you've accomplished, really. The residents should be very proud to live in Van Buren Township and have such a outstanding organization to support them.
Okay. Trustee Boynton?
To ride along Trustee Miller's coattails, put it on our YouTube channel also. Definitely.
All right, well, thank you very much, and we're, obviously, we're proud of you, you know that, so. Thank you.
Your
Jen.
hard work.
All right.
Yes.
All right, next is public comments. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak today on any of the issues at hand? Anybody from the public that wishes to speak? No? Anybody from the other public?
I have a comment from our public
Okay.
participation link. I wanted to get anybody that was in person here a chance to speak first before I use the public participation link. I did have a comment left in our chat from Mr. Stephen Dark.
Okay.
It was on an agenda topic on the gateway signs. His comment was, "I'm so happy to see this project moving forward. The signs look wonderful, and I hope to see every single one of them be illuminated in one way or another. I'd also like if a sign was placed somewhere around the Rawsonville exit, as well as all of the roads coming out of Belleville, seeing that those are the boundaries most people are confused by. Thanks."
Right. Sometimes we are, yeah. All right, moving on, new business. Item number 1, discussion on to consider approval of ThinkGuard's cloud-based on-premise disaster recovery. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve ThinkGuard's cloud-based on-premise disaster recovery solution for Van Buren Township data and application servers, and to authorize the supervisor to execute the 3-year agreement.
Support.
Okay. For the public's knowledge, we had a 1-hour workshop on this just to go over it. It's $30,000 a year for 3 years. It will provide a backup to our daily backup to all of our IT systems. It'll protect us not only against disaster recovery, but it'll also protect us against the bigger threat nowadays, which is ransomware and blackmail. So at any rate, since we did go over it for 35, 40 minutes, does anybody have any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Next item is discussion on to consider approval of selection of graphic house. Can I get a motion?
Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to consider approval of the selection of graphic house for the gateway signage project for $176,698.
Support.
All right. Director Renault.
Good evening, board. So a long time ago, in a time before COVID, on January 21st, 2020, the Board of Trustees approved the proposed gateway sign designs. The project was on hold for a few years due to the pandemic, but we're finally ready in 2022 to get this project completed for our community. And I'm going to attempt to show you the designs again, if my technology works. Well, we'll come back to that. So there's 2 sizes, if you remember, the large gate. Ooh, just kidding. We're going to go over it right now. So there's 2 sizes, a large gateway sign, a small gateway sign. So we're proposing to complete all but one of the signs during this project. The one that we're not going to be complete is actually on private property, so that's separate phase down the road. So up on the screen, that is a view of the large gateway in daytime. And then that's the illuminated version. So out of the 3 large gateway signs we're proposing, we're building them all so they are able to be illuminated, but right now we think 2 out of the 3 will actually only be able to be illuminated based on one of the locations. There's not a lot of infrastructure around it.
What are the 2 locations?
Yeah, let me get to the map. Next slide, 1 second. So the orange locations are the large gateway signs. So there is one by 275 in Ecorse. There's one on the corner of Ecorse and Michigan Ave. That one up here in the left corner, that's the one that there's not a lot of electric infrastructure around. And then the third one that we're proposing is by Belleville Road and I-94. So then going back to this, here's a rendering. It just shows a human standing next to it, and then the small gateway sign right there. So the project was bid out earlier this year. We received one bid on the project from Graphic House Inc. So to complete our due diligence on this company and their proposal, we hired the original design contractor, Ideation Orange, to just check over their proposal, ensure that they were meeting the specifications of the signs and the original design vision for the project. The great news about this is that Ideation Orange fully recommended Graphic House Inc. to complete the project, and the bid came in under budget, which is not something we can say very often in this market. So that's exciting. So Graphic House is based out of Wisconsin. They do a ton of work here in Michigan, and as you can see, they have joined us here this evening. So with us, we have Bren Hardinger, the CEO of Graphic House, Leah Ballmer, Vice President of National Sales, and Christy Moore, National Project Manager. So I'll invite them up in a minute to talk, and they can walk you through some of their past projects. So again, like I said before, we're proposing 3 large gateway signs, 2 of the 3 which will be illuminated. The 3rd may be illuminated in the future. And then 11 of the small signs. So each of these signs is either located in the Wayne County right-of-way or state right-of-way. So the total sign fabrication and installation cost is $162,216 with $14,482 in mobilization costs, which brings the contract with Graphic House to $176,698. So there will be some other minimal costs associated with the project, such as running the actual electrical to the sign, and then also permit fees with the state and county, which we kind of have to get into the project to determine what those fees are and what the electrical fees are, but they'll all be under our cap for formal bidding. So we're still under the budget with that proposed cost at $176,698. And if approved, we will be meeting on site tomorrow to discuss placement locations at each sign location. We'll finalize those site plans so we're able to apply for permitting with the county and the state. And then once those are permitted, we'll work to get the signs fabricated and installed this year. And Graphic House intends to install all signs at one time period. So we'll swoop in and get them all done at once, which will be great. So any questions for me? If not, I'll invite Graphic House up to show you some of their past work. Nope. Come on up, guys.
Through the chair, while they're coming up, I do have one quick question about the lighted signage. Is it possible for them to be lit by solar?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we looked at solar options, and I can send you a picture of it. They're very clunky. The actual solar panels and the materials that it takes to get them to be solar was not a good option after we looked at it, but we did look at it. So.
Okay.
You guys should be good to go. It's just
Go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For inviting us in, and thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate the opportunity to present our organization. This is Leah Ballmer and
Good evening.
Christy Moore.
Good evening.
Hi.
They will be in charge of the project on site. Christy will be on site for the majority of the installation and the initial field verification. Wanted to congratulate you on what I just saw. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank
Talks well about the community. Very well done.
Yeah.
We put together a small little presentation of.
We want to look from
Just
here.
speak into the microphone or our audience won't hear you at home.
Yeah.
Might be a good thing.
Okay.
No, we put a small slideshow together that shows some of our projects throughout the United States. But to go back to the comment on the solar, being up north like we are, solar, we have a lot of clouds. We don't get a lot of solar charge, and the batteries are very expensive, and solar just doesn't work up in the northern hemisphere as far as we are up. So we have looked at that with other projects too, but once you get down in the warmer climates and more to the west, it is a benefit for solar. But first of all, the first slide will be of our facility, actually our fabrication plant. We have another facility that we have our construction group out of. where we house all of our crane trucks, service trucks, backhoes, skid steers, and all of the equipment that we install signage with. This is a couple of projects. One, as you can see, West Des Moines. Another one is in Minneapolis, and another one is actually in Illinois. We actually manufacture and install signage all over the Midwest for Associated Bank.
And then we also have a certified general contractors with DOT experience. So we've got a well-trained crew. We have certified engineers on site to certify our signs. We have certified crane operators. So the crew that you'll have on site, our crew operators are all crane certified. Our sign fabricators were UL listed, so we're very proud of that. So your signs that are illuminated will be UL approved. And then we also have certified Matthews paint application. So we follow a very specific process when we paint our signs to make sure they meet up to standards. And these are the lovely people you see here. I've been with Graphic House for 24 years. Started in the service department, so anytime someone would call in for servicing a sign, that's where I began. Also handle the HR, so wear a couple different hats at Graphic House, handle the HR aspect, and also ran the shop for a few years. So I know a lot, all there is to know about signs, I know quite a bit about it. So I'm very experienced that way. And then as Brent's mentioned, I'm the VP of National Sales. So where all of our work is across the United States, I go there and make sure that everything is handled properly. And Christy has been there almost 7 years. And she also, she is at every site. So we go and make sure we'll be with Elizabeth tomorrow to make sure we've looked at all the sites, know any obstacles that we need to overcome, so that when we come, we're prepared. We've got our crew prepared, our equipment prepared, so everything can be seamless and you have nothing to worry about.
Okay. Any comments from the board? What brings a CEO out?
My wife wanted to go shopping.
Okay. I can tell you, we were concerned at first when we found out that we only had one bidder. We then decided to hire the person that did our bid specs, and it was within budget, which is rare around here. And after we did our due diligence, our community development people assure us that you guys are wonderful, and so we're happy to have you. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I think we're happy to have you. We haven't had a vote yet. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? No?
Sounds
Okay.
like we're gonna get good service.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good sign. No pun intended.
Okay, I have, you guys are up next, so you might as well stay right there. I have a motion right now by Trustee Miller, supported by Treasurer Bud, for gateway signage. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We're on to our next item, which is the discussion and to consider approval of a selection of Graphic House for our park signage. Can I get a motion, Trustee Frazier?
I make a motion that we approve
Graphic House.
the Graphic House, right.
Support.
Thank you. All right, Director Renaud.
Good evening again. In early 2021, the Board of Trustees approved the redesigned park signage design. So additionally, we also started phase 1 of the park signage project, which included the 4 monument signs at Parks, Quirk Park, French Landing, Van Buren, and Riggs. And these will be completed in the spring. So in 2022, we are planning to complete phase 2 of the park signage project, which focuses mostly on interior identification and wayfinding signage at each of the parks. So we bid the project last month and received 3 potential bids. Township staff completed interviews with each company, and after extensive discussions, we're pleased to recommend Graphic House for the project. Okay. It was a bid summary. Township staff did a park tour. We visited each site to verify how many signs were needed per park and what locations we'd want them in. So we used that to build our project budget, which resulted in a project budget of $119,124, which is also under budget compared to projected costs, 2 for 2 this evening. So just like gateway signage, if approved, we'll be meeting on site tomorrow to discuss the placements. Once we finalize those and content, we'll go for permitting, fabrication and installation, and then we intend to do all of those at the same time as well. So you've already heard from our lovely people at Graphic House, but myself, I can answer questions and we can bring them back up here if you have any questions on this.
Any questions? What's the timeline on the fabrication of this signs and the last signs? I don't remember hearing that.
Do you guys want to speak to timeline at all?
Right now, we had talked about this being completed this year.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Right now, we had identified with Elizabeth that everything would be completed this year, but we haven't put a Gantt chart on any of it yet.
So projected this year to be complete with both projects. Gateway sign is going to take a little bit more time because we have more of a rigorous permitting process with the county and the state. Our park signage, we handle all internally because they're on our property. So those ones will probably go in a little bit sooner.
Is there any other questions?
No, I'd just like to comment that I'm glad to see that Van Buren Township is getting its name out there. And that we won't be Belleville. We're Van Buren Township.
I like that you guys created a wonderful theme with your consultants. You've got the Van Buren blue, you got the little water effects on there, and the light blue, and I think the people are going to see those signs from a long way off and know they're in Van Buren before they ever get close to them. So, yeah. All right. I have a motion by Trustee Frazier. It has been supported by Trustee Miller for Graphic House. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
Just a brief word. I just want to say, and if I'm off on the agenda, I apologize, but I am excessively just crazy proud of Elizabeth, Tammy, and anyone else that's worked on this project with the signs. The signs look great. They look fantastic, and they are just beautiful, and they are really, really nice. Kudos and hats off to you both. Thank you very much.
We're very excited. Team effort.
Okay. We're on line item number 4 now, which is discussion on and to consider approval of a selection of Santoro services for our Belleville Area Museum landscaping. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the
Santoro services.
For the job.
Okay.
Support.
Good. Okay. Director Renaud.
Good evening again. So in 2021, Russell Design, our township's landscape architect, worked alongside township staff to design a reimagined landscape concept at Belleville Area Museum. The project involves removal of a few trees, reconfiguration of the concrete sidewalks inside the property to allow for a more sensible and accessible pathway, thoughtfully landscaped areas along the back, front, and sides of the building, irrigation, a secondary patio area that works cohesively with the connector project that we're completing right now, site furniture, and an archway sign that will welcome the community into the museum, and more. I do have the site plan up. I'm going to run through some information, and then we can go back to it, and Mark can give an overview if you'd like to go through that. So earlier this spring, the project was bid out, and we received 3 bids. The apparent low bidder was Santoro Services, LLC, with a base bid amount of $114,553.75. There was a post-bid review with Russell Design and Township staff to value engineer the project. A post-bid addendum was prepared to address the small updates to the plans, was made available to all 3 of the bidders. So the revised bid resulted in a base bid amount of $100,819.15 with Santoro Services as the apparent low bidder still. So reference calls were made on Santoro Services. The company had glowing reviews from previous projects. They operate out of Chesterfield, Michigan, and have secured a temporary yard close by to store materials for the project work. So if approved, Santoro Services plans on being on site mid-May to start the projects and be completed by the end of June. So we recommend that the board approves the selection of Santora Services LLC for the Belleville Area Museum Landscaping and Irrigations Project for $100,819.15. Money is budgeted within Building and Grounds capital outlay. So we have Mark Russell from Russell Design here with us tonight, and also Kevin Shanahan from Santora Services. So I will just show you quickly the site plan, and I'll go over a few other things, and then Mark can give you maybe a better walkthrough of it. Here are some of the proposed plantings that we have on site, so it's going to be really colorful, really pretty. And then here's a view of the existing front entrance. So we're planning to do an archway that mirrors the 4th Street Square from across the street, so it'll look very nice and cohesive. So that's kind of a rendering of what that would look like. We have to extend the stone columns. We'll do the archway, taking out that other sign. And what's really cool about one of my favorite parts of it is that we're redoing the concrete walks, and you'll now be able to get to each side of the museum from sidewalks, which you can't do right now. So there's the rendering. Would you guys like Mark to walk through a little bit on the project?
Yes.
I have this. Do you want me to bring up the actual plan, or do you want to just work from the layout plan?
We can work from here. Thanks. Hi, good evening. Mark Russell with Russell Design, 114 Racing Street in Northville, Michigan. So yeah, Elizabeth gave you a pretty good rundown. I think what we like about this project is that it creates a cohesiveness of the streetscape across the street at 4th Street. I think it really celebrates the museum, and I think what we have there currently is sort of lackluster. And I think by providing some additional landscaping and increasing the amount of the precast concrete pavers coming into the project, it really celebrates the, can I point with this?
I don't think so.
It just celebrates the connection from the main street into the museum itself and the main entrance. We are proposing to put in a couple of benches and some planters adjacent to the entrance there with the east-west walkway that Elizabeth was speaking of. And then we also have the smaller patio down on Roy's Street, right? Yeah, Roy's Street down by where the Model A exhibit enclosure is. So people can hang out right there and look at the Model A, or just rest along the sidewalk. And that's right next to the Rosie Riveter Garden, which is just to the south of the small area. But yes, predominantly a lawn. We did incorporate some hardscape behind the seat wall that's currently there, because people kind of kick around, spin around the wall, and the underside of that's a little hard to maintain. So by adding a little bit of brick pavers along that edge, it gives you a nice edge to mow against, and you're not weed whapping against the cultured stone wall. We are proposing to relocate the flagpole from its current position, which is sort of north and west of the museum, and making it a little bit more prominent at the front, at the terminus of the wall that's on the west side. One of the things that we did propose through some discussions with Councilwoman Budd and Supervisor and Elizabeth and others was the removal of one of the trees. And that really sort of allowed the view to the museum to be a little bit more celebrated. Because right now the trees that are there are lower branch trees, heavy shade. The lawn does not grow underneath the trees that well, but it also blocks the view from Main Street. So that's, we really think that that's a positive move. The landscape below the existing crimson maple tree, which is to the west, or the east of the sidewalk, is all perennial ground covers, and you saw a couple of splashes of color that Elizabeth pointed out. So we think it'll be a nice, welcoming, and easy to maintain landscape. Full automatic irrigation system will help support that landscape as well.
May I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Will you be replacing trees that you remove?
We did not.
Or
well,
ornamental or something that,
one tree proposed down by the smaller patio area that would replace the tree that we were removing.
okay. And what about lighting?
We don't really have any lighting per se in this particular, other than uplighting the flagpole, which, you know, and we don't really need to uplight the flagpole. If the flag comes up and down, just from an etiquette standpoint, you light it and illuminate it, and then you can leave the flag up 24 hours a day. But we don't have anything other than the ambient lighting off of the street, and then the ambient lighting that's supported by the museum itself.
All right.
Would you recommend additional lighting or not necessary?
Well, I don't know that it's quite necessary. I think that we have the LED lights for the flagpole are all low volt, so we have the ability to increase that. We have a transformer, I think, that would serve the expansion of that. We can certainly provide some lighting. I don't know that I'd go crazy, just because I don't really want to make it, you know, splashy. I want to really pay attention to the museum and the architecture of that, and just be mindful of that. If we did any lighting, it might be path lighting, but we can always extend that and add that in the future. We have sleeves under the pavement
Oh, good.
that allow us to do that. So if you guys feel like in time, and there are events going on in the evening hours, then perhaps we can introduce some additional lighting.
Director Renault today told me that she believes this would be transformative. Yes,
Guarantee it.
and I thought that was a perfect description of what I was thinking. So,
Definitely will be different, and I think it was just, as I said earlier, it's just going to be celebration of that building that has been, in my opinion, really ignored.
I love the Belleville Area Museum arch. I think that will be such a nice ornament. Yeah, that's going to look great.
and we're removing the parking area and the dumpster.
Yes, yes.
So, there's a parking area on the side rear along.
On the
yeah.
west side.
Yeah, along Roy Street.
Mm-hmm. And we're bringing the lawn further down to the south, and everyone would be required to park on the street, parallel park on the street.
All right. Harry, are there any other questions? I currently have a motion by Trustee Frazier, supported by Treasurer Budd, to award this to Santoro Services. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Look forward to it, thank you.
When will it be complete?
Late June. Assuming the weather's going to cooperate.
It's going to be great going forward.
Can't get worse. Don't say that.
All right, excuse me. Reports, we have none. Next is public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to comment? Is there anybody online that wishes to comment?
Thank you, Supervisor. I do have a public comment provided by Stephen Dark through our public participation link. His comment is, there is some graffiti on the utility box at the corner of Hagerty and E-Course. It has been there for about 6 months, and I'm hoping it can be taken care of soon. So thank you, Mr. Dark, for your comment. I do want to mention that I did catch Lieutenant Bazzi, who oversees our ordinance department, before he left. They are very aware of it. And while we don't have our utility box, it is something that they were aware of, and they've been waiting for the weather to change for that to be painted over. Had it been painted over during the colder months or today, the paint would not have held up well. So it is something that will be addressed, so I do thank Mr. Dark for his comment.
I'm getting complaints, but happily they're in Belleville. So whoever's been texting me about call Belleville. All right. Board, does the board have any comments? Hearing none, can I call for a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn?
Miller and Boynton, hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Aye, and the motion passes. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Very good. You're in and out of here.
Warmed up in here?
Good job, you guys.
Leave.
It's just red, square, and it says PDF.
After we're done.
Hey, just on a side note, you guys.
If you don't have it, they have to
Going down and
load it
playing
for you, because I,
left-hand turn light for Tyler and Belleville.
because I
So I
had a